How's it going, everybody? Akiro here, and today I'm going to be talking about 2MD VR football. Now, this is just a small experience. It's not really big because, there's really not too much into this game, but with what I experienced, it was actually worth trying, worth playing, and adding it to the VR experience. Now, I'm going to explain it in segments so that way you kind of understand why I'm saying it's not too much, but it's enough to at least try it out and enjoy it. So in the main menu, you basically have your little whiteboard where you can customize your own play, and that's good. I mean, I'm not even into the sports games, but when the fact that you can customize your own play and it's not a fixed play, that gives the player the opportunity to make any plays he wants and actually simulate it and see if it actually works on the field. Now, the AIs do pick up on what you do. You can't do it often, but they will learn from it, so that's actually good too. Which was another surprise when I was playing it. I tested it out by playing the same play over and over again. There were times where I got away with it, and there were times where they blocked it, which then I changed the play and had to change up my way of playing in order to actually score a touchdown. Now, the fact of movement was pretty interesting. Now, the move button, if it's not your dominant hand, the move button, when you press it, will make you move forward. Now, when you want to move left or right, you actually have to hold two buttons. So, for example, the two buttons would be triangle and circle to move right, like physically right. And then if you want to move at an angle, you actually hold the triangle button or the square button, which will make you move into an angle, which was an interesting controls segment I would never experience. But it has to be the non-dominant hand to make yourself move. I mean, you can still kind of control it while holding the football, which I did also, and it still works. It's just, I mean, when you're not using your dominant hand, it's actually a lot easier to control it. But it was an interesting experience. Also, the fact of you making your own plays, they actually inputted voice command into this. Now, when it comes to voice command, that's the next segment of VR experience. It hasn't been pushed out much, but it's kind of there, and hopefully it'll pick up and make it a little bit more better. But the voice command on here was a little bit buggy. Now, most people didn't really know how to use the voice command when I was watching a couple of videos, but after reading the manual, I actually discovered how to do it. So they have between the voice commands of cross, halo, bravo, and delta, you actually have to say left or right. You can actually hold up to 8 plays, which represents the 4 buttons on your move controller, in order to actually use the voice command. So for example, you'll say delta left, which will hold the plays on your left, and then delta right to hold the plays on your right. So was very convenient. I don't know if anybody would have figured out. They didn't do it in the training. You actually had to read the manual in the locker room in order for you to actually figure that out, which I did. So it worked, and then sometimes it didn't work, so hopefully they look into the voice command feature to kind of perfect on it. I will have to say, this VR experience when it comes to throwing mechanics, because another thing about throwing mechanics, it tends to not work sometimes. It tends to when you want to throw a grenade across like 300 feet and all that stuff. The sensitivity was on point. It was almost like literally putting the force of throwing a football, which I think, and I'm sorry, I don't think this was actually the best throwing mechanic in VR experience when I played this game. I mean, I was literally felt like I threw the football to the player. Sure, it was kind of far, and I know myself may not to throw it that far, but it felt good to the point where when I threw it, I know it was going that direction. I didn't hesitate that it would go drifting to the left, drifting to right, and you can actually curve it too, which I discovered. If you move and you throw, you actually do a curve throw. So if I move to the left and throw it, it will curve around to the left. So that's another new interesting feature that I don't think anybody knew about, but after playing it and kind of play around, it was actually good. Another feature, the fact of customizing your own team. Sure, there wasn't much selective teams, but I think it was nice that they added a couple of teams, different voicings. You can change the color scheme, you can change the footing lines, so that way when you see it, you see it. And I think that's pretty good. I mean, literally, it's always nice that you can customize. You don't have to be strict with what they have. Sure, it wasn't the type that some people would want, but at least it's something. Now, in this game, I have discovered a glitch, which probably broke the game entirely. I say it broke the game entirely because, well, it did. So I am actually going to show you this glitch, but then that doesn't mean that this game is bad. That just means that, you know, there's a bug that was there, and I don't think they looked into it because I don't think anybody did it. They just played it normally. When I was fooling around, I discovered this.
Round 1. Androids versus princesses. Let's get this party started!
So, the fact that the whole team disappears was kind of odd to me, and I fumbled on this. It was just so awkward that next thing you know, I double tap on the trigger button, which simulated the throw, which crashed the other team. Now, it doesn't work on all maps. It only works in the stadiums. I did every stadium from Princess to Pixels to Androids. There were times where you could do it on the field, and there were times where it didn't work and they just kind of bumbled up. And that's all they did. I mean, you can move around still while you do that glitch, but that was the only thing I found. Everything else was perfect. Again, this game only has 7 rounds, but in that 7 rounds, it was a challenge. I had fun with it. I enjoyed it. Sure, it was a short experience, but everything was worth it. In the end, when you get the platinum, you get a ring on your finger of 2MD, and you get the opening theme song in their trailer, which, I'm sorry, that's an awesome tune. So, what do you guys think? You think this is a keeper? Because, to me, I enjoyed it. I knew it was. But am I going to go back to it? Not really, but I'll actually show it to a couple of friends to let them try it out, to get the actual experience like I did. If you enjoyed this review, definitely give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more, you know what to do. You click that subscribe button. And if you have any other comments and concerns, just leave it in the comments below. I'll definitely read it to you. And I hope to see you guys another time.